Some people might not know, but legendary actor Daniel Day-Lewis was actually in a gay movie. And there will be blood. No, really, there will be blood in this. My Beautiful Launderette came out in 1985, and it follows a Pakistani-British man who gets the opportunity to run a laundromat. Then, when an old friend comes back into his life, this disrupts all the plans that others had for him. I had been trying to watch My Beautiful Launderette for a while. I had obviously known about it because of me looking up Daniel Day-Lewis's previous films, a long time ago. Also being a gay movie, and I believe this film was mentioned in the comments a couple times, so I finally watched it, and I have some things I didn't like about this film and some things that I did like about this movie, and I want to talk to you about all of it. I will be avoiding major spoilers, but going to be talking about it overall like I usually do. There's a lot of things here that actually did work for me, and Daniel Day-Lewis is one of those things. That's also because of me knowing how much Daniel Day-Lewis, if you don't know, he's like a method actor. So much work into researching his roles and stays in character for months. And I don't know if he actually did that for this particular role, but you do feel like his character is really lived in. And you can just tell just from like the intensity in his eyes in these moments that feel really genuine. His character's got these blonde tips that became a very fashionable thing in the 90s and 2000s. I think it really suits him really well here. And also this movie taking place in the 80s, the mullet game is pretty strong here. And I didn't cut my hair or anything for this review, but I guess it worked out that way. You don't usually see a film like this at all. I mean, we're talking about a British Pakistani gay person and a gay skinhead love story. That's not how many movies have to do with those types of characters. When the gay love story starts happening, I think that's when I started really liking the film, even though it does take a while for that to start. And we only do get to see the two characters interact like 21 minutes or so into the film. In terms of the gay love story, it kind of happens unexpectedly. Like, I guess we were just supposed to assume that the main character was gay and his friend was gay, and because the kiss, when it happens, was very unexpected and surprising. And was also really surprising is seeing a movie that actually has gay lovemaking scenes, and there's a really good standout set piece that happens here where a gay love scene is happening while there's also like a heterosexual thing going on, and there's tension, and that was a pretty memorable scene. And I'll start now first with the things I didn't like. And this movie is a bit strange, and not in some good ways, some kind of like what is going on strange things. I mean, for starters, there's an early scene where a character's like smiling while he's listening to his father make love to somebody. And then there's also like a parental figure that's in the character's life, and he has these meetings in his bedroom with all these people around and smoking and drinking, but they're all in the bedroom. I don't know. I thought it was a bit weird. And overall, my biggest criticism for the film is the plot. I'm not good at guessing plots, and I was a bit confused about what was going on in this movie at times. There's a lot of storylines that are intersecting and coming in and out, and I think they don't necessarily feel fully fleshed out and cooked. And I'm okay with movies taking large shifts and tone shifts, but there's a way to do that, and it's a very challenging thing to do, especially in writing. And particularly, without giving anything away, there was a moment where a character says something to another character, and I felt like, why would they say that? Does this person even know them? We don't get to fully develop the characters deeply in ways that some other movies have more time to do. Also, this film is set during the Margaret Thatcher years, and I don't know that much about British politics. I do know that she was a very controversial figure, specifically toward the working class, and people have picked up that this movie is trying to say something to that effect. There is an eviction scene that happens, but if I hadn't looked up that stuff, I wouldn't have really picked up on it because it probably would have just gone over my head. Obviously, the most biggest example is these skinheads that are shown throughout the film, and these Pakistani characters. And what's also unique about the film is that these Pakistani characters, these immigrants, they're not shown as victims. Yes, there's moments of violence that I'll get to, but it's not necessarily like a victim narrative. There is very much a sense that these people are in control, like they are successful people, and it's something you don't usually see. They empowered themselves, and that was good to see that type of story play out as well. Now, there's a big set piece that happens in this film. There is some violence that happens. The set piece is pretty well done, and there's even this really good crane shot that happens, and I didn't think they were going to do that, given that I read that this is a lower budget movie. And this movie's not that long, and I do think it's an important part of gay cinema, just for the groundbreaking quality to show not just a gay love story, but characters that you don't usually get to see be leads in the story. And that was a breath of fresh air. And again, without giving anything away, I'll tell you that this movie does have a gay happy ending. And to see a movie that takes place and came out in 1985 and with such a beautiful, I mean, that's probably one of my favorite shots, of the very last shot. The way that they decide to end this movie on such a happy note, it was something that I wasn't expecting. And this movie was certainly not my favorite gay movie that I've seen, but it is a film that is certainly worth talking about.